Hey everybody, this is Jim the Tabletop Engineer. Welcome to a new playthrough video. Today I am starting a new game, a new campaign. I've talked about this game before, but if you're not familiar with it, let me give you a little brief overview of it. It's called Relicblade. It is by Sean Sutter. It is you can play it solo, you can play it competitively, I think you can even play it cooperatively, but it is a fantasy skirmish war game. It's played on a 2x2 or smaller area, and it's just a cool game. I've really come to enjoy it. And specifically, I'm going to be playing through this expansion called Catacombs of Kural. This book, excuse me, this book provides the solo rules to play the game, and it also provides a small introductory campaign. It has a prologue and then 6 scenarios, and in the campaign, you'll play the prologue and then you'll play 3 of the scenarios randomly. You roll them randomly or pick a card to choose them, you'll see. And at the end of the 3rd one, you encounter a boss. And it's, you can play it a lot, you can play it with different characters and things like that, but I want to start with the solo campaign, and then if you like this game and want to see more of it, I need to know, because I'm very seriously considering converting a lot of the 2-player games in the original core book to solo as well, which will not be really difficult. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pick my characters. I'll show you how that's done, and I'm going to place the characters and the enemies, and then we'll get started playing the game. All right, before we get to playing Relicblade, there are a couple things, business matters, that we need to roll for. The first one is, which characters am I going to be playing? The rules for the solo campaign state that you have to have 4 adversaries, which I have right here. I have the Raider Pig, Shield Pig, Pig Warlord, and the Soldier. And then for the 4, I guess, good guys, you'd call them, I've got Sirion Everflame, the Lone Guard Infiltrator, the Warden of Justice, and the Flame Bearer, a wizard. All right, so let's shuffle these up. And basically, well, obviously I can tell the dark or the bad guys and the light. So I tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put these behind my back and shuffle for like 5 seconds. And then I'll just pull them out in front and count off the top 4 and whoever it may be. All right, there we go. All right, 1, 2, 3, ooh, 3 bad guys, wow. All right, let's see who we got. We've got the Lone Guard Infiltrator, Pig Warlord, Shield Pig, and the Soldier Pig. So those will be my 4 starting characters. Let's see, what else do we need to do? Oh yeah, okay, so this is the upgrade deck. You have to pick out 3 that have keywords, 3 that don't have keywords, and then you can have as many as you want. Obviously, the more cards you have, the less likely of pulling the card that you want. These will be pulled at certain times in the game when the scenario tells you to, you win it or whatever, you pull an upgrade. So I've got pig only, pig and beast only, fighter only. So 3 there that would be considered keywords. And then, let's see, there's a quick shot non-keyword, champion non-keyword, veteran's edge non-keyword. So there's the 3 that don't have keywords. And then I'm just going to add in Spellbook, which does have a keyword for Witch and Wizard. Arcane Protection is Wizard. Neurotoxin is Rogue. Pig and Beast only. Warden Bolas, which is neutral. And Optimized Armor, which does not have a keyword. So I'm not going to, you could put 50 cards in here. It doesn't matter. These will be shuffled, set it aside, and then if the time comes, I will draw a card. All right, that is the business side of it. Now it's time to play, and that will involve rolling randomly to determine where my 4 characters start on the map, and then we'll get going. All right, it's now time to place the 4 miniatures randomly on the table here. Now, in the story, the idea is that these good guys and bad guys fell through an opening in the mountains of Kural, and they've landed in these hidden passageways beneath the mountain. So it calls for a random direction and a random distance from the center point. So what I'll do is I'll just take this pig, put him here. I'm going to roll a d10 for the direction and a d6 for the movement in inches. So 5 inches this way. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. He'll be all the way at the far edge here. Let's go ahead and do the good guy. That way, 3 inches. 1, 2, 3. All right. And we'll do this guy. This way 4 inches, which puts him against the far area here. And then the last one, oops, 2 inches this way. So that puts him right about here. All right. Not too bad. I've got 2 enemies here and 1 enemy here, so they are not in base contact. All right, now that I have the placement of the soldier types, it's time for the game to start. All right, here we go. Relicblade. So let me explain how this how the order works. Normally in a player versus player game, each player will roll a d6, and whoever has the highest, they get initiative. They can go first, and then the other player goes first, and then you alternate. The first player can also defer and allow the other player to go first, and I think that gets you an extra action die. We will explain action dice when we get into the game in just a second. So in a solo game, and since you don't have an opponent, what's going to happen is I have 4 of my good guys. Now they are a mix of good guys and bad guys, but they're working as a team. And the enemy might spawn, they might activate on my turn, and all of that is determined by the roll of a die. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose for my Lone Guard Infiltrator to go first, this guy right here. I roll a d6, and I rolled a 3. So in the solo rulebook, a 3 is predicament. It says check to see if the activating character, wrong one, predicament, 1 random monster triggers and the exit locks. All right, so the door was unlocked, and that's my goal, is to get all my heroes out of this door. But it's now locked, and 1 random monster will trigger. So let's go ahead and number them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we'll roll a die. I rolled a 5. So this one will activate, and that is a Lizard Hound. Now, if you look at the graphic on the screen, the Lizard Hound has 2 action dice, 6 movement, and 1 armor, and it can do a gore action. It can only do it once, but it only needs a 3 or higher on a d6 roll to hit. So the Lizard Hound has 2d6. It needs to move. Well, it's going to move to the closest target, which in this case is going to be my Lone Guard Infiltrator. So it will move there. That is less than 6, so it is doing a charge attack. And it used 1 die to move, so it gets 1 attack die, but it gets that bonus die because it is doing a charge. So it needs a 3 or higher, which I'm pretty sure it's going to get. It rolls a 3, an actual 3. So after you roll to see if it hits, you roll a die to see how much damage. And most attacks have a bonus modifier, and the Lizard Hound has a gore. The gore has a +2. So 6 + 2 is 8 damage. And now what the defender does is they roll a die and they add their armor. Now the Lone Guard Infiltrator has an armor of 1. So I rolled a 6 + 1 is 7. 8 - 7 is 1 damage. So I will mark my Lone Guard as having 1 damage. So now that the Lizard Hound has gone, it is my turn. The Lone Guard Infiltrator gets 5 dice. That's a lot to do stuff. He doesn't have to move because he's already engaged with the Lizard Hound. So what he can do is he gets 2 dagger attacks. Now, a dagger attack is a 4 or higher to hit. That's a 50-50 shot. I can improve that by doing what's called a focus action. You can only do 1 focus per activation. So what it is, it costs you an action die. I have 5, so I take this away. And then An attack by the Lone Guard Infiltrator with a dagger uses 1 die. But when you focus, you get to take an additional die to it and then roll those, and the addition of it has to be greater than 4. So I'm going to go ahead and focus and use that action die, and I'm going to attack. I rolled a 6 plus 3 is 9, and then I roll for the damage. The damage is 3. The dagger is a plus 2 attack, so I do 5 damage. And now I roll for the Lizard Hound. The Lizard Hound has 1 armor. 2 plus 1 is 3. And I go 5 minus 3 is 2 damage. Now the Lizard Hound has 3 health before it's knocked out. So it's got 2 damage on it. And my Lone Guard Infiltrator still has 2 dice. Now he can only do the dagger attack twice. So I'm going to go ahead and do a dagger attack. I cannot focus, so I need a 4 or higher. I got a 6. So let's go ahead and see how much damage that does. 2 plus 2 is 4. So I've done 4 damage. And again, the Lizard Hound has 1 armor. 2 plus 1 is 3. I do an additional 1 damage. That is enough to disable the Lizard Hound. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a disable token here, and I'll explain the disable tokens at the end of the round. All right, and the Lone Guard guy has 1 die left. I am going to take it and add what's called a dodge token. Hopefully we'll get to a point where I can show you how the dodge tokens work. Okay, end of the round. Now the Lone Guard Infiltrator is done. Who wants to go next? I'm going to have the Soldier Pig go. The Soldier Pig, first off, I need to roll the die to see what happens. I rolled a 3, which is Predicament, 1 random monster. So what we'll do is we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I rolled a 2. So this one is going to do, and that is the Clan Warrior. Now if you look at the screen, you'll see a copy of the card. The Clan Warrior has 2 action dice, 5 movement, and 2 shields. Now that 5 movement is enough to get him to my Lone Warrior. So he will spend 1, and it leaves him with 1. His attack, now that technically is a charge because he came into engagement with him, so he will get a bonus die for that attack. His attack is a clan weapon. He needs a 4 or higher, and I rolled an 8. So the damage is a +3 modifier. 3 plus 3 is 6 damage. My Lone Guard Infiltrator has 1 armor. 2 plus 1 is 3. 6 minus 3 is 3 damage. He's already got 1, so he takes 4 damage. He is, not only has he got 1 health left, but he also is down 1 action die. Where's the 4? Come on. He's down 1 action die because if you look at the card again, down at the very bottom there are 5 squares that represent his health. The third one from the, 1, 2, 3, the third one from the right or third one from the left, doesn't matter, is a little symbol of broken bones. When you get that one, you lose an action die on your activation. So he's down 1 already, down to 4. All right, so if you'll remember, I activated this guy, which triggered him. So my Soldier Pig has a movement of 4. He could go finish this guy off, which I think is what I want to do. He will move 4. He is engaged. Now remember, he starts with 3 dice. He spends 1 to move, and that leaves him with 2. He's going to attack, but he gets that bonus die because he did a charge, and his halberd requires a 6 or higher to hit. I can't focus with this die because I don't have another action die to add to the thing. So can't focus, so let's just see what happens. I need a 6 or higher. I rolled a 5, and a 5 is a 10, so I do hit. How much damage is done? The halberd has a +5 modifier. 4 plus 5 is 9 damage. And the Clan Warrior has 2 armor. So 5 plus 2 is 7. So 9 minus 7 is 2 damage. And if you'll remember, he didn't have any damage on him. So he's got, what did I say? 9 minus 7 is 2. He has 2 damage on him. And he has a total of 4 health. Now I have 1 more die, but the soldier pig, the soldier pig can only do 1 attack with a halberd, but I could attempt to do a gore. I need to roll a 3 or higher. I do. The damage modifier is +2. 5 plus 2 is 7. And once again, the clan warrior has 2 armor. So 6 plus 2 is 8, so that does no damage, and my soldier pig is now done. Okay, who's next? Let's do the warlord pig. The warlord pig, I need to roll the die to see what happens. I rolled a 5. 5 is good. 5 or 6 means I get my full action and enemy does not take an action. So let's go ahead and do this. I need to go ahead and finish and get this guy killed. So I'm going to, the pig warlord has 3 dice. I spend 1 to charge. I'm going to do an attack, which means I get to do the bonus die because I became engaged with the enemy on a charge. And the warlord hits on a 4 or higher. I rolled a 7, so definitely. How much damage? It's a +4 modifier. 1 plus 4 is 5 damage. The lizard hound has 1 armor. 3 plus 1 is 4, so that's a total of 1 damage on the lizard hound. And now the pig warlord still has 1 die left. So let's go ahead and do another one. I need a 4 higher. I got a 6. How much damage? 3 plus 4 is 7. And the lizard adds +1. 7. 6 plus 1. So no damage on that 3rd and final strike. The pig warlord is done. Now, the shield pig will go. The shield pig, let's roll to see what happens. I rolled a 3, which is a random monster. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I rolled a 6. So this one will attack the warlord. It gets 2 dice. It cannot focus because, well, it'll use 1 for the gore attack. It can't use this to focus because there's no other dice to add to it. So instead, what it will do is use this to get a dodge token on its next turn. It will roll to see it. It needs a 3 or higher to hit. It did. How much damage? 4 plus 2 is 6. It does 6 damage. And my warlord is 2 armor. 3 plus 2 is 5, so it does 1 damage to my warlord. And now this guy can go. The shield pig has a movement of 4 and 3 action dice. Oh, and by the way, I meant to give him a dodge token. Let's do that. Where is that? So the bad guy has a dodge token over here. Okay, so with 4 movement, it will take 2 of these dice to move 8 inches, which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He would get here and have 1 die left over. There's no way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He could get over to this guy. I think the warlord's doing okay. Let's do that. I'm gonna. This is a long shot. The shield pig is going to move. Well, that dodge token is what's going to be the bad thing. Let's go ahead and have him. He's going to run over here and get in here, and he will attack the clan warrior. All right, so he's got 1 die. He spent 2 to move. He needs a 4 or higher to hit, and I rolled a 2, so he misses. All right, so that is all of my characters have gone. Now, the bad guys get their turn. Remember, when they activate when I roll the special die, they can activate. That doesn't count as their activation. They still get their phase. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and do the lizard guy here. He has 2 dice. He will use 1 to attack, and he attacks on a 3 or higher. He got a 2, so he misses. He will use this other, well, he can only do 1 attack. So he'll use this to get another dodge token. And you can only use 1 dodge token at a time, but you can have up to 2 of them, I believe. All right. Then the clan warrior will attack. Now, the way the clan warrior decides, there is an actual sort of plan here. When an enemy attacks, it first always attacks with its highest damage bonus, which in this case is its clan weapon. And then there's an order for how it will go first. For attacks will equal, the targeting is what I'm looking for. It targets the closest enemy. If tied, most dodge tokens. Well, I think, yeah, he did get a dodge token, so he will go for the one that has the dodge token, which is my lone warrior guy. Let me get him out here. So this, you're going to get to see how the dodge token works. All right, so he has a starting hand of 2 dice. He can't focus, so instead he will attack. He needs a 4 or higher. He does hit. All right, so here you go. He hits. How much damage does he do? 1 plus 3 is 4. Now, normally, for him to defend, I would roll 1 die and then add his armor class. His armor class is 1. But when you have a dodge token, you cash it in and you get to roll an extra die and you take the best one. Or is it the addition of them? I'll have to look that up. Well, 5 plus 2, I'm going to beat the, whether it's 7 or 5, I still beat the damage. But I need to look that up. I've often questioned whether that, I think it's the addition. You add them. It is 7. It is. All right, so he dodged, which means this guy has 1 extra die, so he will get his own dodge token. And that is the end of that turn number 1. Let me put a number up here. All right, before we end the round, there is a recovery phase. In the recovery phase, anyone who is disabled, which is basically this dog, gets to roll a die. On a 6 or higher, you recover 1 health and you stand up. Normally in a game, the enemies are automatically, like if you beat them, they're out. But in this game, they actually do get recovery rolls as well. And the Lizard Hound, if you look at the card for the Lizard Hound, they have a thing called Tough, and it says recover on a 5+. So he will recover on a 5 or a 6. And a 2 means no recovery. And in the solo game, if they fail their recovery, then they're removed from the game. So the Lizard Hound is now out of the game. All right, it is now turn number 2. Let's see what we can do. I need to get rid of this guy because my Lone Guard Infiltrator is really low on health. I'm going to activate the Halberd. Let me pull these cards over here so I know what I have ready. I'm going to do Soldier Pig. So let's see what happens first. I rolled a 4, which is a random monster triggers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he will trigger once again. Because I don't have the dodge token, now it goes from closest enemy, most dodge tokens, then lowest health, which unfortunately is my Lone Guard Infiltrator. So he will attack with 2 dice. He does not have to move, but he can only attack with 1. So he needs a 4 or higher. He got it. How much damage? 2 plus 3 is 5. And my Lone Guard Infiltrator has an armor of 1. 3 plus 1 is 4. So he does 1 damage, which is unfortunate. And now my Lone Guard Infiltrator is disabled. He is down. That's not good. All right. Shoot. All right. So anyway, it is now, and he will use his last die to get a second dodge token. And the dodge tokens work the exact same way as when I use them. All right, and they both have 2. Okay, let's do this. My Halberd guy, the pig, Soldier Pig, he will get 3 dice. He does not, Halberd is, I'm going to choose to, he needs to roll 2 dice, so he cannot focus because there's not another one left. So he will roll, he needs a 6 or higher. A 9 will do it. How much damage? 6 plus 5 is 11. I think this guy's toast. The clan warrior has 2 armor, so 3 plus 2 is 5, and 11 minus 5 is 6, so he gets to roll, hold on, he rolled a 5, oh no, he rolled a 3. He also gets to use a dodge token, so let's do this. 3 plus 4, 7 plus 2 is 9, 11 minus 9 is 2 damage. He already had 2, so for 2 damage, and he has 4 health, so he is down. That's good, yay. All right, he loses his dodge token, and he gets a disabled. Actually, you know what? These dodge tables go away on their next activation, so he would have still had it. I think he still keeps it because he won't act. He will activate because he'll get a chance to recover. That's what it is. All right. So the halberd guy went, and what happened? He knocked him out. All right. So halberd guy had 3 dice, and he used 2, and he has 1 left. So with that 1, I'm going to go ahead and choose to move, and he can move, what did I say, 4? So he'll move 1, 2, 3, 4. He's moving towards the door to open it. To open the door, I have to roll a 5, and it takes an action die to do that. All right, who's next? Let's see. Down, I guess I'll try to do the, let's do the shield pig. Shield pig will go. Shield pig has a movement of 4, and he has, what, 3 dice? All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use 1 to move to the ring. I'm going to use another to pick the ring up, and that gets me a magic ring card, which I will put on the screen right here. And it's a single use. Use a magic ring as if it were a dodge token. All right. He's got it. And he's got 1 more die, so I'm going to go ahead and have him move towards the door. So he'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. So he's right here. All right. Now who hasn't gone? The pig warlord has not gone. All right. Pig warlord goes, but we need to roll the die to see what happens. I rolled a 5, so the pig warlord gets his turn. Now remember, the wolf the hound has a dodge token. So the warlord gets how many dice? Where's the warlord? 3. Okay, 3 dice. He's already engaged. He needs a 4 to hit, but he can do this 3 times. Remember, the wolf already has 1 point of damage, so just 2 more will kill him. I'm going to try to roll a 4. I failed. I'm going to try to roll a 4 again. Got it. How much damage? 2 plus the 4 is 6 damage. And remember, he has a dodge token, which he will use, so he will roll 2 dice. That is a 3 plus his armor of 1 is 4. 6 minus 4 is 2 plus the 1. He is down. All right. So that's that. And then my warlord had 1 die left. I'm going to use it to move. And he can move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So they're trying to head for the door. All right, that is not the end of the round yet. We've still got to do recovery phase. So I take this away. This guy has 1 damage. Actually, no, I need to leave that, don't I? No, he's down. I know he's down. All right, so let's roll for recovery on the Lone Guard Infantry. I need a 6. I failed it. Now, if a hero fails their recovery roll, they can crawl 2 inches towards the exit. So he was right here. So I'm going to go 1, 2. So he's now here. And let's roll for the bad guy here who recovers on a 6. I rolled a 1, so he is taken out of the game. And he is done. And this guy is still discovered. All right. This one right here. This one gets his recovery. He recovers on a 5 or higher. Remember, he's a hound. I rolled a 5. So he stands back up, and he has got 1 health left. So he's got 2 damage on him. That is now the end of that turn. It is now turn 3. All right, I've only got one enemy to deal with. The closest one is going to be the Warlord, so he's going to have to deal with the Warlord if he moves this way. So let's go ahead and try to open this door. I'm going to have my Soldier Pig go first. Let's see what happens. A 3 means a random monster triggers, which will be this one. So he will move. He gets 2 dice. He'll use 1 to move, and he can move up to 6. So he's going to move and engage. He gets that charge die. So he needs a 3 or higher. 6 definitely hits. How much damage? 4 plus 2 is 6. The Warlord has 2 armor. And 2, this was a 6. 2 plus 2 is 4. So 6 minus 4 is 2 damage. He's got 3 damage on him. And the Pig Warlord has 6 health, so he's still good. It is now this guy's turn. He has 3 dice, so he'll spend 1 to move up. I hate to do that, but he has to do it. And then he has to roll a 5 or higher to try to pick the lock. Failed, and he did it. Okay, so the door is now open, but he does not have enough move to go through it. It is now, let's see, that was the Soldier Pig went. Now let's do the Shield Pig. Shield Pig will go, and Shield Pig, let's see what happens on his turn. A 5, he gets to go. So he is going to go ahead and move through the door, and he is out and safe. So his dice are done. That is all of my... Oh, the Pig Warlord has not gone yet. All right, so let's let the Pig Warlord... The Pig Warlord will go. Let's see what happens on his turn. A 4 is Predicament, 1 random monster. So this guy will attack again, but he only doesn't get the charge. So he will use 1. He needs a 3 or higher. He hits. How much damage? Ooh, 6. And plus 2 is 8. He did 8 damage. The Warlord has 2 armor. 6 plus 2 is 8, so no damage. Excellent. The Warlord turns, and he gets his 3 dice, and he is going to attack. He needs a 4 or higher, and he got it. How much damage? 6 plus 4 is 10. He did 10 damage. I think this dog is done. The dog has plus 1 armor, so 3. And 10 minus 3 is 7, so he is once again down and disabled. And the Warlord has 1 die left, if I remember right. He had 3. He used 1 to hit, so he has 2 left. All right, so he'll use both of these to move through the door, and he is done. That's the end of the turn. I still get the recovery phase. So let's try the lone guy here. I need a 6. I got it. So he stands up. He gets 1 health left. He's active. And let's see if this guy gets his 6 or 5. He needs a 5 or 6. He does not. So he is gone. There are no enemies on the table, which is very good for me. It is now the end of turn 3. Well, the bad news is, in the solo game, there is this thing called Encroaching Horde. At the end of round 3, you put 2 lizard hounds at the player start, which is right here. They don't activate, but they're ready to activate. So the only I need him to get out of dodge. So I'm going to have the lone guard infiltrator try to roll a 5 or 6 here to get out of here. I rolled a 6. So he gets 5 dice, which, trust me, is more than enough for him to escape. It is now Soldier Pig. Everybody's out except for Soldier Pig. Soldier Pig will go. He rolls his die to see what happens. He rolls a 5, so his turn again, and he will get out, and that is the end of the first, well, scenario 0, the prelude or prologue scenario. All right, so all 4 heroes got out. Here's what happens. Now, the heroes do not go back to full health. automatically. You have to do certain things. So here's what's going to happen. All the heroes, at the end of a scenario, all heroes gain 1 health. Well, the Warlord had 1 damage on him, so he'll be back up to full. No, he had more than that. He had like 4 damage, I think, or 3. I think he had 4. I'll review it. He gets a health. He gets a health. He got 1 just from standing up, so he's up to 2 health. And he's at something, I'll figure it out. Then you get to draw 1 random upgrade. I shuffled the upgrades, and the upgrade I get is called Champion. It is a generic, so I can assign it to anybody. I will put a picture of this on the screen so you can see. It says, may perform 1 melee weapon action 1 additional time. So if I gave that to like the Pig Warlord, he'd get 4 attacks instead of 3. Wow, okay. All right, and then everyone takes a short rest. So the short rest, here's where it comes into play. It's on page 40. For the short rest, you only get to choose 1. I can 10 wounds, which means everybody recovers up to 2 health. All right, so I got the ring. I got a champion upgrade card. I got the magic ring, and everybody should be up to full health because I'm going to choose to mend, which means he will go back up to full health. He should be up to full health, and they are ready to go. The last thing I have to do before we play scenario number 1, or the next scenario, is I have to figure out which one it is. Now, this is really interesting. There are 6 cards that are provided in the solo game. These are treasures or upgrades that, excuse me, your players can get. But what you do is you shuffle them. You shuffle them and you pick one, and whichever one you pick, that determines the scenario play. So let's flip it. We got Corrosive Vial. I'll put this on the screen. And if I come into here, now remember I played the prologue, so there's 6 scenarios plus the prologue. Corrosive Vial is scenario 5. So if I turn to scenario 5, the Corroded Chamber. The Corroded Chamber has its own layout, it has its own rules, its own activation chart, everything, and we'll do that next week when I play another game of Relicblade. I hope you like this. This is such a fun game. I love the miniature aspect. I love the card aspect, the dice rolling. It's just so fun. All right, that's all I got. This is Jim, the Tabletop Engineer. Thanks for joining me as I played this game of Relicblade solo. I'll be back again in a week. Until then, everybody, take care.